On a misty morning in late October 1864, Union soldiers of the 43rd Wisconsin arise and step outside their comfortable quarters, a much appreciated benefit for that time, to follow the standing orders of the day. Roll call at 5 a.m., followed by musketry drill from 5:30 to 6:30 a.m., and finally time to prepare and eat breakfast at precisely 6:45 a.m., a robust breakfast consisting of a hardtack biscuit, fried pork, and a cup of coffee. And so the day begins. At 7 a.m., all officers and men embark on their duties for the day. Routine duties, the same as the day before and the day before that. The men of the 43rd Wisconsin patrol the buildings, the warehouses, and the railroad. Walking in line throughout the depot, then making an about-face, they repeat their watch, prepared to meet any threat to this 90-acre supply depot on the Tennessee River, a place called Johnsonville. It is muddy, smelly, and a generally unpleasant place to be in 1864. Nonetheless, it is a facility that serves a crucial role in the Union effort to win the Civil War, a most horrible war that has raged for almost 4 bloody years, with no apparent end in sight. The 2,500 men here at Johnsonville serve as artillerists, infantrymen, sailors, and armed employees of the Quartermaster Corps. Uncommon for the time, many of these 2,500 men are African Americans, and many of them former slaves. Back in the summer of 1863, free African American men formed the 12th, 13th, and 100th United States Colored Troop Regiments. They were assigned by the Union High Command in Nashville to help construct and guard the Nashville and Northwestern Railroad, NNWRR. Constructed between October 1863 and May 1864, the railroad was to serve as a vital connector between Nashville and Johnsonville, a total of 78 miles. At the end of October 1864, only 6 months after its completion, it is now a very busy place. The supplies that arrive here are essential to support General William T. Sherman's massive 40,000-man army in Georgia. Through this supply depot flow uniforms, leather goods, muskets, ammunition, food, and everything else imaginable needed to sustain an army. Bales, kegs, and crates are offloaded from supply boats docked at Johnsonville's massive wharf, then transferred onto rail cars for shipment to Nashville, then on to Chattanooga, and eventually to Atlanta. On these chilly days in October of 1864, the men of the 43rd Wisconsin stand ready to protect Johnsonville from a rumored attack by the Confederates. It is thought that a Confederate force under the command of the crafty General Nathan Bedford Forest, operating somewhere in West Tennessee, has orders to capture Johnsonville and its supplies and destroy them. Rumors of this impending threat spread throughout the huge supply depot, and Colonel Charles Thompson, the Union commander at Johnsonville, makes preparations for its defense. He orders the 43rd Wisconsin to man the outer rifle pits dug around the perimeter of Johnsonville to guard against attacks by the rebels. Thompson orders the 2nd U.S. Colored Light Artillery to take position in the lower redoubt, a small fort on the bluff atop the depot and with a view of the Tennessee River. As well, cavalrymen of the U.S. 8th Iowa and 11th Tennessee provide movable support for the depot's defense. All appears ready, and the garrison waits, expecting the rebel attack. That finally happens November 4th, however, not as predicted. Instead of by land, the Confederates attack Johnsonville with artillery from the opposite bank of the Tennessee River. At 2 p.m., the Confederates unleash a deadly barrage of exploding shells fired from well-positioned barricades constructed in the dark the night before. The men of the 43rd Wisconsin and their U.S. Colored Troop artillerists quickly return fire from Johnsonville, but their guns' trajectory cannot be raised enough to hit the rebel emplacements. Thompson orders gunboats docked at the wharf to back out into the river channel and enfilade the attackers on the western bank from the boat's heavy deck guns. That effort fails. Forrest's Confederates have the advantage of height, and their artillerymen take the time to knock out the gunboat's steering, making them ineffective. Union defense forces fail to protect this place called Johnsonville. Forrest's experienced artillerists provide near-perfect fire and leave Johnsonville a flaming inferno. In a mere 2 hours, buildings, boats, amassed supplies, and lumber piles throughout the depot catch fire until nearly a mile of waterfront is ablaze. That evening, as Forrest and his Confederates observed their work by the light of the burning settlement, the 43rd Wisconsin and the U.S. colored troops are left to fight the fires and eventually put them out. On the morning of November 5th, whiffs of smoke rise from ashes that are all that remain of the wharf. Their task completed, Forrest's men take a few parting shots at the Johnsonville garrison. The 43rd Wisconsin return ineffective fire, but Forrest is gone. The Battle of Johnsonville is over. As the night sky darkens, the 43rd Wisconsin retire to their winter huts to consider their losses and ask themselves, what is next? The supply depot is gone. What will become of us? What will become of the colored troops? Where will we all go? But the compelling question they ask themselves and loved ones in letters written home is, will this war ever end? Please join us this November 1st and 2nd to commemorate the Battle of Johnsonville that happened 150 years ago on November 4th, 1864. We will have artillery, cavalry, and infantry demonstrations. There will be period vendors, games, and other exciting activities. Hope to see you at Johnsonville State Historic Park, New Johnsonville, Tennessee.